Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gaurav Rajadhyaksha. With me is Fletcher Hawkins. Today we are presenting BiraBira Early Learning Center for our architecture. BiraBira is owned and operated by our clients, Victoria, Vulgaris, and Chris Garris. They invested themselves in researching and developing their vision for an evolved childcare center that will be a replica for the future generations to come, which can be easily adopted. And it is more than an institution. They wanted to create a micro-community. Now, there are three components of their community that they considered: the children that they are educating. They wanted to make sure that the children develop life skills such as resilience, imagination, mutual respect, motivation, and curiosity. Equally important for them were the educators, for whom they wanted to foster an environment of care and nurture professional development. And third, but equally important for them, were the parents and families of the children that they were caring for. They wanted to make sure that the parents felt involved and assured them that their children are safe and developing the skills that are crucial to their age group. BiraBira is an adaptive reuse of a warehouse in an industrial precinct of Cheltenham. Our site, which is the dashed box, dotted box that you see on the screen, is part of an industrial fabric. It's part of a cluster of warehouses, and it is surrounded by residential neighborhoods. It has direct access from Warrigal Road, which runs north-south on that screen, and has, which improves the serviceability of the site and the residential neighborhoods, as well as the industrial precincts form the catchment for this center. Earlier in the process, this was back in 2018, when they're looking for the right site to support their vision and the center, the scale of the center that we're after. We considered two scenarios. One was to buy multiple blocks of land, residential, sort of suburban residential blocks, and develop a new built center. And then the other option was to repurpose an existing building. They chose to go for repurposing an industrial warehouse for a few reasons. It was inexpensive as compared to buying 3 suburban residential lots. It was readily available at the time. The site in this instance was accessible due to the main road and the residential neighborhoods and the commercial precincts and industrial precincts that surrounded. So it was well accessible for the catchment that they were trying to address. And it also supported their advocacy for upcycling an industrial building into something of greater good for the community. Our clients have always adhered to a philosophy that it takes a village to raise a child. Their village, in their vision and philosophy, was composed of the children, the families, the parents, and the educators. And this philosophy influenced our design concept for the project. With that, I invite Fletcher to present the core principles and the concept.
As Gaurav mentioned, there are a number of core principles that influence the project and the architectural response. It was critical that the happiness and well-being of staff was catered to. Early education could be a tiring workplace, so spaces where staff could rest and recuperate was essential. A dedicated kitchen and dining space allows for children to take part in cooking experiences with the on-site chef, using seasonal ingredients, following a nutritionist's recommendations to ensure kids are healthy. The dedicated space allows for social interaction in a dining setting. BiraBira provides on-site consultation rooms for allied health and specialised support for the children. Along with this, conference rooms are provided for professional development. Again, the idea of making it replicable. With an abundance of existing warehouses around Melbourne, having a centre that could be replicable for future centres was an important outcome. Dedicated learning environments. Like the dining area, dedicated spaces were an important aspect of the centre, Allowing defined rooms like a library allows for structured learning as well as avoiding the children being cooped up in the one space. To feel at home. It was important that the spaces felt like an extension of the home, influencing the material palette and interior feel of the centre. We wanted a comfortable and calming spaces. The interior takes on a blank canvas approach, allowing for educators to have ownership of their rooms with the ability to personalise the space and style it throughout the year. Flexibility. It was crucial that the centre allowed for flexibility in its approach to educating, which was a key design criteria in terms of arranging spaces and how they related to each other. The concept. So obviously we took an existing warehouse and it's a structure which gives a large blank canvas. One of the early sort of design moves was to cut an opening into the roof to allow light to penetrate the centre of the space. A major feature of the centre was this internal courtyard. This provides a number of attributes to the space, again, allowing light, a large landscape area, and allows all the internal spaces to inward look onto the large landscape. The learning pods were placed in sort of a staggered arrangement. The concept was, early on, was using this idea of a warehouse within a warehouse, and again, taking on that idea of it takes a village. We want to create a smaller scale in such a large volume to make it more personable for the occupants. And then there's the creating learning hubs. Again, the designated learning spaces sit within the main learning environments, creating separation and flexibility for the teachers to be able to expand and contract their learning environments. And then there's the allied support and staff spaces located towards the front. We provided more than sort of your minimum standard requirement for a centre like this. Again, sort of touching on that idea that the importance of the staff and the wellbeing of the staff is catered to for the centre. And then again, there's that landscape in the middle. A key feature to the design outcome and important for obviously all the occupants, children, teachers, parents to enjoy. So again, this featured courtyard, you can see here the atrium entry and its location. You get direct views internally. The clients told us first impressions matter. When parents and kids come to the centre, we want them to feel excited to be there. Walking through the entry and seeing the playground allows both children and parents to feel at ease when coming to BiraBira, rather than walking into an uninspiring foyer. Is that it? Here we've got the connection to the landscape. All the spaces look inwards. Again, the flexible fluid learning, you've got these internal spaces that link all the spaces together. And you can see here, the idea was to expand and contract the ceiling volumes to define the spaces. Again, the hubs, you've got the kitchen there centrally located, and again, obviously the active athletic space. Then we've got the art and creative areas, which create, again, that sort of central room between other rooms, creating the flexibility for teachers to be able to monitor children and assist with the other spaces.